Welcome to Precisely Nowhere. Super excited to be back. And this is a special episode. It's the 100th episode. Can't believe we're finally here. And before we dive in, I wanted to talk about the No Kings rally that I went to in Rancho Cucamonga, California, because it energized me and I connected with so many different people, like all walks of life, different ages. Talked to some women today that were in their 70s and they were like sharing their experience of protesting. So it was nice. And they're also like, why are we still here protesting things that we've already protested? But yeah, I just wanted to share that. And I know that there were rallies across the US and other like countries, so love to see everyone coming together, and I will be sharing more in future episodes. If you've been listening to Precisely Nowhere for a while, you will be familiar with Rose.
Hi
I'm
guys.
so thankful to be recording this episode with her. I feel like that's the best part of staying friends is and having a podcast is you get to bring your friends on and chat about things that are relevant and will resonate with other people, sharing our learnings from our lived experiences. And I feel like so much has changed since the last time we were on the mic together. So that was
Oh my God.
a year ago.
Yeah.
Lots of change and lots of growth. So, for any new listeners, Rose is my former work wife who turned into podcast co host and is now one of my best friends. I was reflecting on how long we've been friends and realized that it's almost been 10 years since we first met.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been at where we met for 9 years. And yeah,
Wow,
I know.
time
It has
flies.
moved very fast. Yes. It's also just like we were talking about this a little bit earlier in like our pre-show talk, like where we catch up. And we were talking about how your 20s is just like such a rapid section of growth. So to meet someone in your early 20s and then be there to see the end of their 20s and the start of their 30s is like so crazy because just everything changes, quite frankly. Like for me at least, I mean, I guess for some people maybe not, even for you, like I think everything has changed in a positive way.
Yeah,
But it's exciting to
for
see
sure.
the other side of that.
I know, right? You don't really think that far into the future when you like meet someone. And then also, I feel like life goes by so quickly. Like, I feel like my parents have used to tell me this, and it's so true. Like, the older you get, the years go
Yeah.
by. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, whatever. But it's real.
It's like the months go by slowly, but the years go by fast. I think that's
Yeah,
like the phrase. I do
for
really feel
sure.
that.
I mean, we're already in October.
It's already October.
And we're going to be chatting about The Devil Wears Prada as two former assistants who survived the Devil Wears Prada era and thrived. For anyone who's unfamiliar with this movie, I don't know how you could be, but there are some people out there that might. The logline from Disney Plus is a young woman becomes the assistant to a tyrannical editor-in-chief. I never realized that that was a logline for this movie, but
I don't think I've ever bothered to read it.
I know.
I mean, like it's 100% correct.
I thought to myself, if people don't know the movie, here's a little bit about it. It takes place in New York City. The young woman is played by Anne Hathaway. The tyrannical editor-in-chief is played by Meryl Streep. And two other people that I love star in this movie, Stanley Tucci and Emily Blunt. So it's a star-studded cast, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. And it's like Anne Hathaway. I think she's coming right off of like Ella Enchanted and Princess Diaries, and
Yeah,
I think it's those two things.
I think she was, and she had already, she shown that she's a great actress, but this was her in a different role, different genre. I feel like she was like a little bit more serious.
Yes. Because like
And
Ella Enchanted, what's the other one? Princess
Princess
Diaries. Oh my
Diaries,
God, that's a sin. But like,
Mia Thermopolis,
oh
hello.
my God. Um, yeah, like those are comedy,
Yeah,
and this is not.
yeah. This is like some comedic moments, but it's more drama.
100%.
Such a great movie. You've already heard about Rose, but going to give her a moment to introduce herself. Tell the listeners what you've been up to, who
Oh
you
my God, what
are.
I've been up to? Okay, so hi, I'm Rose. I feel like been here before. Love you all, miss you all. What have I been up to? Oh, I've been on maternity leave for 6 months. I feel very out of the game talking about like work because I haven't been there, but I go next week. I go back next week. So it's a good reminder of how far I've come because I've gotten, I think, like 4 or 5 promotions since my assistant phase. And
What?
it's been a really accelerated career growth journey, but I think a lot of it comes down to having been disciplined and having embodied the Devil Wears Prada. Because even while being an assistant, I very much felt this is what's happening. This is what this is. Like somebody's filming me. This has to be a joke. I'm like at a different point in my life now. I have a husband and a house, and I have 2 kids. I just have my second, which is why I'm on the maternity leave. They don't just give that out for fun. That'd be nice though.
That would be so nice because I would
Just
cash in
gonna
on
take
that.
6 months. Yeah. And yeah, I think that's about me.
Yeah, that was a good catch up. Man, 4 to 5 promotions. Look at you, such a
I
boss.
know. Thank you. Thank you. I pat myself on the back daily.
Casual. She's like, I have a house, I have a husband, I have 2 kids. She is really thriving, and you have worked so
Thank
hard
you.
for it. So it's
Thank you.
beautiful to see your whole journey. When I first met Rose, she was interviewing for the job. She
Oh my God.
got that she, her first job at NBC Universal, and she was a vibe, and I had such good, what is that? What's the saying? A feeling? I guess a good
Mhm.
feeling
A
about,
hunch.
yeah, a good hunch about you. And look at you now. I always
Here
say
I
that
am.
Rose is truly adulting because she's doing it all. And I feel like I've learned vicariously through you, even though I don't have kids. Just all of the things that go into being a powerhouse woman, juggling family, yourself, your passions, these little kiddos that need you, and you're doing it.
Thank you. And I think, strangely, being an assistant and having to like dedicate all my time to something and like really focus and hunker down on it then has let me like learn and grow enough that now that I'm here, I can do my job without like being stressed anymore. Because I was very stressed as an assistant all the time, 24/7. I would have dreams that I would sit up in bed and think I was at my desk. Like I was so stressed. But that stress burned the knowledge I needed in to do my job. And now I can be stressed about life and not be stressed about work and do my job seamlessly.
I,
I can
at least
balance better.
At least it was trial by fire. I remember being stressed too, and I definitely remember you being stressed. Interesting to reflect on that because I feel like now when I catch myself stressing at work, I think to myself, it's not that deep. But maybe I
Yeah.
need to start thinking back to the days when I was an assistant and been like, it's not, we're not there anymore. And there were some challenging days.
Yeah, that was like tough. I think too what like adds to it is like I think this is why college is so stressful because you're trying to actively learn a new skill. Like even though my degree is in something similar, you're not actually taught how to work in college. You're taught about the theories of things. And like having to learn a new skill and a difficult skill while having to do the thing is stressful. Like think about if you had to like learn how to ride a unicycle. You're just given it and you're just like, go, do it. It's your job now too. You work at a circus, so figure it out or you don't have a job. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is kind of blows. Like this is not fun. So I think it's a little bit of like both the environment, but also like trying to learn something is stressful.
Yeah, definitely, especially depending on the environment you're in. And we were living in that Devil Wears Prada environment, even though the movie came out in 2006, which I didn't realize it came out in 2006
Me
until I
neither.
started doing some research for this episode. I thought to myself, I can't even remember when I watched it for the first time.
I have no recollection of it, but I read the book in like eighth grade, I want to say. I have like vivid memories of being at my parents' like it sounds so bougie, it's not though. At my parents' like lake house, like reading the book because there's no internet up there. And there's no internet and there's no cable. There's like two channels. So like you were reading, doing puzzles, playing board games, and I remember sitting there reading the book and being old enough to have read the book and have already seen the movie. I'm pretty sure I saw the movie before I read the book. But they're different. They're very different.
Oh, I forget that it's based off of a book.
But they're different. It's not like Twilight where it's like a really close adaptation.
Yeah.
They have big differences.
Oh, okay. We're talking about the movie and our stream of consciousness when we're
Let us
watching the
there.
movie.
Hmm.
Yeah, I recall being in my early career and getting caught up in the flashy work perks. Lots of free food and alcohol at times in my early career. A ton of it.
Oh my
Free
God,
work
the
perks
happy hours were dinner. I didn't have to
and
eat dinner if we
lunch.
went to happy hour. Oh, do you remember? I don't know if it was with you or um the assistant that came after you, but we would like walk past a conference room and be like, they're having a lunch meeting. And then we would go back to our desks and check the conference room booking chart to see when the meeting was going to end so that way we could hit up the kitchen after the
Oh
meeting
yeah.
ended to get the leftover lunch. Because like also early career, like we didn't have time to really go grab lunch some days, and we also weren't making much. So if we like pick up a free meal here or there, sign me up. I
Oh
want all the
yeah.
free meals.
I loved the free meals, and I think we did that too. We would check, and then we would go. See, we would also check our schedules to see if,
Yes, if it
who was
lined
gonna
up.
go get the lunch.
Yes. Yes. I feel very vulture like, but you know what? You got to do what you got to do. And we succeeded. I
And
mean,
it was buddy
what's an
system.
hour? It was once it was in the kitchen, it was fair game. We were just being smarter about it. We weren't just wandering upon it. We were pre-planning it
Oh
so that
yeah,
we
and
knew no food waste. We were helping prevent food waste. We're actually
spreading the
environmentalists.
love.
Yeah.
Truly. Yeah, I remember so many free lunches and so much free fruit. I feel like there was always leftover like fruit and
Or the
sandwiches.
salads.
Oh yeah. And then I would just bank on that. And sometimes when there were lunch meetings, we would order lunch. So that was nice.
Hmm.
That doesn't happen as much anymore. Now I eat
No, I've
lunch
heard.
during a meeting sometimes. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
I used to
yeah.
love when I was in charge of lunch meetings. Like, I think one of my more favorite parts of being an assistant was scheduling the food and scheduling the happy hour sometimes, because then I got to pick what we were eating. And I
Oh yeah.
love to plan a menu. So that was kind of like my favorite thing. And I just did my last offsite. Like a year ago was the last time I planned an offsite. And that was the thing I was most sad to not know. Especially because the offsite I went to this year, I was pregnant for. So I was like, does anybody have the lunch menu? I was like desperate to know because I was like, I need to know ahead of time if it's going to be something I'm willing to eat.
Yeah. Being inclusive, I used to love that too with planning the offsites and holiday parties. Like Rose and I would collab, and because we have a shared love of food and
Just
all
gotta have the
things.
best menus.
Yeah, you gotta have a good ambiance, good drink menu, good food, just
Yeah.
all of the above. Yeah, that came to the top of my mind when I was rewatching the movie is just fun perks from that time. And being an
Yeah.
assistant especially because I feel like your manager is at a higher level, obviously. So like
Hmm.
you're getting secondhand perks from them. And I was
Oh, the
here for it.
handy Christmas gifts. Like, because the production companies would send us gifts, and sometimes I wouldn't get them, which was fine, especially my first year. I didn't get any directly sent to me. But there were things that like other people didn't want. I'd be like, oh, well, if you don't want that cup, like I'll take a new mug. Like I love a mug. Pass it this way. I love some of them I still have like in rotation. And my husband's like, can we get rid of this? And I'm like, no, this is the Yeti I got from that company. And like a couple of them, one company, like I have a couple of things from them. And my husband's always like, I thought this was a brand. No, it's a company that we work with. And I love it. You can't get rid of it. So
You're
okay.
like nostalgia.
Yeah, also they're useful things. Like I got some Yeti cups and they're solid. Why would I get rid of Yetis?
Yeah, I do hold on to things like that too. I think I have some cups that I've had for years from different points in my career because I'm like, it was free and it's a good
Yeah,
product. And that's all that
yeah.
matters.
Why would I get rid of this? It's a North Face backpack. I don't care if it has somebody else's logo on it. I'll still put my laptop in that and go to work. Like, I'm
You
not above
gotta
it.
you gotta take advantage of that.
It also almost like fuels you a little bit, like especially when you're an assistant. Like, it was the unknowing perk or gift. Like, that was like the fun part of it and being like, I can't believe I got this.
Yeah, the gratitude you had because you weren't even used to getting things like that. Like everything was
Yes.
new.
Yes.
And being and feeling like you're included was also nice sometimes because to your point, you weren't as connected. You were still like building your network and people were getting to know you. So little small gestures go a long way.
Yeah. Also, being an assistant is such like a weird limbo place of being like, you're really like team members with the executive you work with, but you also are technically part of a larger team, but you don't like you are almost a go-between between those two bodies, which is like a weird space to be in. Because like sometimes the larger team would go out for drinks because they all actively are in meetings together and stuff like that, but you're the assistant. Like, so you're not always necessarily the person going out for drinks. Like, and you see Andy like that a little bit in the beginning where she's like the new assistant. And then Emily Blunt's character is talking to, is that Giselle Butchen that's in it? It is a
Yeah,
supermodel. She's like talking to her and they're like, oh, we're going to do this. And they're not telling Andy
yeah,
because she's the new girl and she's the assistant. So why would she come?
yeah, for sure. And then you get the like grunt jobs too sometimes where they're like, okay, now you're gonna go get coffee for everyone.
Yeah, and everybody's gonna get something different. So you're gonna have to like figure out how you're gonna carry these 17 coffees back. So then you have to find other assistant friends and you have to be like assistant friends. We have a job to do. We have to go get 17 coffees. And like we'd have to go down to Starbucks and you couldn't mobile order when we first started, which sounds crazy to be like, there's no mobile order. And I had to go down and order these coffees in person and wait for them.
Right?
Now I'm in the 30 Rock subway station, like Starbucks that's there, and I see the pages come down and they're like are picking up orders and going, and I'm like, that seems so nice and easy.
Oh yeah, technology is the friend.
Yeah, and like
Wow.
power to them.
Right? I didn't even realize that we couldn't mobile order, but now that you're saying it, I'm like, damn, look at us just being aged,
Yeah,
assistant living or assistant life in a different era. Yeah, we did not have AI like we have it now.
no, which like that's like a story for a different time. But AI like bugs me so much. Like if you can't write an email with a without AI, like why do you have a job? No offense, but like that's the very basic part of your job.
That is email writing as an assistant is so important. And being able to talk on the phone, answer the
Yes.
phone, manage people. And I feel like as an assistant, you're tasked with managing another person. And something that could happen, but doesn't happen to everyone, is then not managing your own life as much
Yes.
and your personal life hanging on by a balance, which is something that I saw in the movie with Andy because she's like sucked into the corporate world.
You know what though? Nate is the bad guy. Because you know what? We worked very long hours. We were always very dedicated. I would get there an hour early to prep their day. And like my then boyfriend, now husband, never said anything and supported me 110%. So that's on Nate because Nate was being a baby. Also, Nate was a chef. What do you mean he was working? He had daytime hours. He was an up and
Yeah,
coming chef. Like, he was probably there till 2 a.m. too. Like, get your own life. Like, worry about your own job. Let her, like, thrive. And yes, sometimes your life does bleed into like work, and it is very hard. It is so hard to find that work-life balance, and it's definitely something I struggled with as an assistant and didn't find until not being an assistant. So like I never even mastered it there. But like the people in your life that want to see you succeed will support you,
For sure.
even if
He
they know
could
what
have,
you're doing is toxic.
yeah, he could have been more supportive and like tried to hear her.
Yes.
And it was more, it came across as judgy and not
It also
supportive.
came across as like jealous. Like he was jealous because she was spending time working instead of spending time with him, which is important, but also like you have to take a step back and think like, what are the overall goals? And ultimately, she achieved her overall goal, which was to like, sorry if this is a spoiler for you, but if you haven't watched this 20-year-old movie, that's not my problem. Um, of like pivoting from this fashion magazine to a more serious writing role. And that's like ultimately what she achieved. And sometimes you have to do the grunt work, like getting coffee or going, like she had to run out for skirts. There's so many times as like a production assistant, I had to run out and I had to find freaking bonsai tree scissors once because apparently those are different than regular scissors and they are very specific. And if the bonsai community was watching the commercial, we had to get it correct. So I had to find these scissors. Like, you have to do things like that,
Yeah,
which is annoying, but you gotta do it. And you gotta go get the skirts and you have to do the grunt work. And also, back to your point about managing other people, it was very weird to learn to manage someone else while not knowing how to manage my own schedule because it was my first job as an assistant. So I'm having to manage a person's schedule and be like, you can do 6 back-to-back meetings. That sounds reasonable to me. But as a person that had never done 6 back-to-back meetings, now I'm like, oh, as much as like my job was difficult, his job was also incredibly difficult. Because what do you mean I scheduled him in 6 back-to-back meetings and got him lunch to eat during the last 3? Like, that was also inhumane of me. But nobody said
yeah,
anything. They just let me keep doing it. So I was like, I'm making your day work, and this is how it works. And sorry, hope
learning
you live
on
through
the
it.
job.
Yeah,
Truly. I didn't think about that. That, yeah, having someone schedule you back to back meetings, that would be a lot. I can't imagine doing that nowadays. Like sometimes I do have days like that, but I think that it can be a challenge to find your personal life balance. I'm hoping nowadays, because the work culture has shifted a bit, that there's more autonomy that assistants have and like flexibility, like to sign off and, just take time for themselves during the day because
yeah.
I feel like I gave my whole time to the job. Like that was just kind of like Andy in the movie where I was like in it and so focused and ambitious and saying yes to things out of impulse sometimes.
Yeah, that's
And
hard one.
yeah, when it's like actually inconveniencing you, or you've already said yes to another thing and now you're saying yes to two things, and we can't be in two places at once. So
But if you
resonated
try
with
hard
that.
enough, you can be. Because we definitely tried being 2 places at once. We tried so hard.
Oh
I
yeah.
tried so hard, at least, like all the time. There were times I went to LA and I'd be like, but I need to be in New York. Okay, well, you can't be in both places at once. Like, you gotta just go.
Yeah, like Paris Fashion Week. Or in the movie when they had to go to an event and Emily Blunt's character was sick, and so then Andy had to go too. And I felt for her in that moment because I was like, damn, I can't personally relate because when I was an assistant, I was single. So I didn't have someone waiting at home for me. It was just my bed. So I'm like, if I'm home later, like that's not a problem for anyone, you know?
Yeah, I think it worked out that my husband and I were both very early in our careers, and he also had very long hours. There were a lot of, he works like a job that has like off shifts. So, like, he worked 4 to midnight a lot. So, when he was working 4 to midnight, nobody was home looking for me either because he was at work still. Or he would work midnight to 8 a.m., which he was probably sleeping when I got home. So, like, we had like very off schedules. His career settled down a little bit earlier than mine did, and he like understood. He knew that, like, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, like, we'd be here because we've always been very good about, like, communicating big picture. and being like, where do we want to be in 5, 10 years? And like, how do we get there? So it was like a means to an end. But he definitely got frustrated a lot.
Yeah, I could see now being in a relationship, I could see how like a significant other could get frustrated, but I also do agree with you that your husband was always seemed understanding because I feel like
Yeah.
we would go out for happy hours after work and do things and I'd get like Rose, like, come on, Rose, just come. And she would always be down. And I
Yeah.
love that in that time you were in a relationship but were with someone that like knew that you were taking stepping stones and building your career and let you fly and like shine your light and didn't try to dim your light like what's his face in the movie.
Nate.
Yeah.
Nat. Nate, though. But yeah, like we've always been very good about that. Like you and me have also like gotten dinner post NBC, and like he doesn't care I go out to dinner. Like I think that's where finding that balance in your personal life too comes in is like you need to have people in your personal life that are willing to balance with you. You know, like you need to have friends that are understanding, like, oh, I only get to see you on the weekend sometimes because like you're super busy with work. No, I get that. I respect it. Like we both have jobs, we both have careers, we're both trying to achieve things. And like I feel like her friends kind of got it in the movie. Like she went out to dinner, she brought her one friend that really cute purse. Like it's not just all about the perks, but it's about being like, oh, what you do is cool. Like that's cool. It's cool to know you and to know that you do these things. But I did really feel for her when she goes out to dinner with her dad that time. And
Oh, Meryl
oh, sorry.
Streep has that emergency where she needs to fly back
Yes, I
home and there's
really
like a
felt for that.
hurricane.
Yeah, and she's like, call the National Guard. And I felt like we definitely were in situations like that sometimes where it was like, what do you want me to do? Like,
Yeah.
literally the only thing I can do right now is like we were put in a couple situations like that where it was like frustrating. Like I was out with friends for like St. Patrick's Day. It was a Friday. Oh my God, we were submitting for awards. It was me and you. We were submitting for awards, and I like had met. I was like, I have plans, and you were like, I can finish this, but you had to like call me a couple times because we like needed to share. Like you needed information, and I'm like at a bar. Being like, yeah, so in this place you should go here and you need to do this, this, and this. And you're like, okay, okay, promise not to call you back. And then you're like, sorry for calling you back. But and I'm like, okay, so we need to do this, this. But I'm like, I'm at a bar, like, because it's St. Patrick's Day. It was
Yeah.
like 10 o'clock at night because we were like really running up against the deadline. But yeah, we ended up in a couple places like that. I remember changing flights in the grocery store once. That was a
Oh
fun day, or
yeah.
like
Or like
hotels or something.
yeah, booking a last minute car when you're trying to also step out to eat your own lunch because
Hmm.
something was else the flight
Something
was
changed.
delayed.
Yeah.
It needs to happen right now, but you it's the end of the day and you need to go home.
Yes. But you don't need to go home because you need to do this first. And
Yeah.
like that was a little bit hard, but there's like lots of things I learned that I might not have learned being an assistant. Like my travel is impeccable when I schedule it. I always like am very conscious about like booking my cars and making sure that it'll be there or like that I've shared the flight tracking numbers so they know if my flight changes and I don't have to update them. But Eater is a really good way to find restaurants in a city that you've never been to before. Wouldn't have known that if somebody else didn't show me because like at the end of the day, I come from a very different community and background than what exists in the corporate world. Like neither of my
Yeah.
parents worked corporate jobs. I have never understood before starting my job like corporate travel, like how that even works, what you're allowed to do. Like in college, we'd go on trips and we'd share rooms still. Obviously, you don't do that as grown adults. Um, I had no idea what a corporate card was. Like they were all such foreign concepts to me that being someone's assistant almost was like, oh, this is how you actually utilize all this. Because he was very like specific in like the flights and stuff and like taught me how to book them almost. So like that really, I mean, you really taught me how to book the travel, but like in general, the concepts of travel were taught to
Yeah.
me. And like I wouldn't have just picked that up. Cause there's like people that are my level, or even when I was more junior and they would ask for my opinion, I would realize like some senior people have never been assistants and they didn't know what they could or couldn't do. And they just had been doing the absolute bare minimum for years. I helped someone that was booking their own cars to and from the airport and paying for them. I was like, are you out of your mind? Why are you paying for this? Why did you think this was yours to cover? Like,
Yeah.
but nobody said anything. And they just let them keep submitting their expenses like that and nobody said anything. And we're like, hey, you're missing cars. How are you getting to the airport?
I know it's those things that I guess you have to learn on the job and no one teaches you. But there are, echoing all the things that you said, a lot of things that I learned. Shout out to Stephen Rummer, learned a lot from him. He taught me how to be an assistant to him. I mean, I had the skills too, but I feel like when you're particular, and we're all particular. Like, there's a way that I like to do things and places that
Yes.
I like to stay. I learned, yeah, Eater through him, how to find good restaurants, hotels. I mean, I also got to tap into my interior design skills and help redesign his office. Like, I remember doing that, and that was super fun, picking furniture and
Which is
artwork.
like, you're a better person than me because I love Miguel and he has taught me so much. But every once in a while, he'd be like, should I put this poster here? And I'd be like, I don't know, man. I don't sit in this office. I don't have to look at this wall. I mean, you put it where you want to put it. I actually don't even know what the poster looks like. Like, so we have to like
That's so
hang things in
funny.
his office sometimes, and I'd be like, no, I need you to tell me where you want this because I have absolutely no opinion on this.
That is hilarious. Maybe it's the Virgo in me that's like, I have an opinion and I know how this should look.
I have so many opinions, but I'm like, this doesn't impact me. So I kind of I'm struggling to find a reason to care.
That's
Like
so funny.
I'd
Me.
also be like, I have so many meetings to schedule for you right now. I can't think about this poster.
I'm like, I would rather be doing interior design for your office.
And I'm like, let me schedule the shit out of your day so I can put you in 6 back-to-back meetings and we can get this all done with. I can't think about this.
That's
Maybe I'll call
hilarious.
maintenance to come hang it for you if like I find time.
Oh, I used to love doing that. Yeah, and making sure lunch breaks. And learned the importance of lunch breaks being an
Yes.
assistant because I also saw what happens when you're in meetings and you don't give yourself or your executive time to eat lunch. And
Hmm.
from someone who gets hangry themselves, I
Oh
can
my God.
relate when people get hangry. And so that is something I miss when we used to go get lunch.
Yeah.
That was fun. Like running down to 30 Rock or running to, and we would take turns sometimes, but then we would go together and then stop
It
at
was,
Paper Source and get like
oh my
birthday
God, Paper Source
cards.
is closed.
What a tragedy.
Yeah, sorry. I was like,
I loved
I
me a Paper
realized you
Source.
were maybe the only person I could tell that to, and they would feel it because I actually don't think I've been to the office for a year, but I went for the for last time in November, and I was like, Paper Source is closed. And I went upstairs and I told our production assistant, who is a man, and he said, "Wait, there was a Paper Source?" I was like, yes, and it's
I have
closed.
so many memories in that store. Like the amount of hours that I've probably spent in that store picking birthday cards and buying other
Yes.
gifts. Such a great store.
Also, like when you're a busy assistant, it was the perfect place to stop midday on your way to like grab lunch and be like, I forgot it's Mother's Day. I have to grab something or have to grab a
Yes.
card or whatever. Like, I don't have that anymore, obviously, which
What
sucks.
is sad. I wonder what they replaced with it.
I don't know. I'll let you know when I go in and like, it'll literally be a year since I've gone to the office, but I will let you know next time I make it there
I'm
what
afraid
they've
to
replaced it
hear,
with.
but please tell me.
Hmm. I mean, maybe it's another food place. They opened a lot of new food places down there.
Yeah. Maybe it's something they think is gonna bring in more money, even though I feel like Paper Sources is such a great store.
I can't think about it anymore because I'm sad because I used to love to get stationery. I'm such a now I'm like not only did they I have to redecorate my desk when I go back in full time, but there's no paper source to buy little trinkets and tchotchkes at to put on my desk. Where am I gonna get my really cute post-it notes? Where am I gonna get my really fun pens?
There's a cute bookstore down there. I'll find the name of it and send it to you. That is
It's not
like
the same. I've been in the
I know.
bookstore. I got
I know.
I have a feminist quote. So it's like something about like feminism is for all people. Tote bag there, which I love, but they just don't have the same cute pens and trinkets. Maybe I don't need them. I probably do. I'll find them.
You'll find another paper source and
They'll
then you'll take
come to
a
me.
field trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, paper source. Well, we've talked a little bit about jobs that pay the rent. That was something that Andy was doing. She took a job that was going to give her like a foot in the door and help pay the rent because Lord knows they probably needed it since he was up and coming
A
chef.
struggling chef.
Yeah.
We like barely see him at work. He makes the jankiest looking grilled cheese. I could do better. You're a chef?
Curtis
Okay,
is not a
whatever.
fan.
I hate Nate. Nate
Her
is like Nate is like the manifestation of the boy I dated before Kevin. Because when I picked my major in college, he was like, "You're gonna study production," and I was like, "Yeah, I am." And you know what? Oh, he was like, "Oh, and you're never gonna find a job. You'll always need me to support you." I said, "I'm so
oh no.
sorry." He's a teacher, so I'm like, love teachers, but I'm like, like you were gonna support me?
Yeah. Also, where are you coming from with all this energy? Like, you're never gonna be able to survive on your own? Like, who are you, sir?
A jealous little man. He was the smallest man that ever lived, is what it really was. And I think that's what Nate is too. He's like so jealous of Andy because he knows how successful she's gonna be because he knows her as a person and knows
Yeah.
that she has so much potential. And he's afraid that she's gonna eclipse him. And that's definitely how this guy was because he knew he didn't have a lot of potential, but he knew I had a lot of potential. And he really just wanted a stay-at-home wife.
Now I know why Rose loves this movie so much because she relates to it on so many levels. Like,
You know
I
what?
was
I did.
single during this time, so it's different. Like, I relate to Andy on a lot of levels, but then there's some where I'm like, okay, as like watching this as your friend, yeah, not for this energy. And trying not to drag Nate too much, but I do see his flaws. I do see his flaws.
And I
And
love to drag Nate.
I mean, if I were her, I don't know if I would have stayed with Nate. And I'm super curious to see what's going to happen in the second one, if he's going to be in it,
Yes. As like
because
a, oh my God, I can't believe you've succeeded so much. I can't wait to see because also something that's been annoying me about people reacting to the paparazzi pictures coming out. There's like one with Anne Hathaway walking with like a tray of coffees, and they're like, "Oh, Miranda has her running around the city like crazy again as usual." And I was like, Andy is not an assistant. There is absolutely no way. Like, I will like you could hold me to it. If for some reason she's an assistant, I don't know what's happened in her life that has led her back to that, but like there's no way that Andy is currently playing an assistant in this new movie. Like she is definitely like editor in chief of like some serious magazine or something, or maybe she was and she's getting pulled back into the fashion world. She's not an assistant. There's absolutely no way that that's her career trajectory in this movie. And I don't want to hear it from anybody anymore that that's what's happening because that's just uninspired and that just shows like a lack of understanding of the movie, of Andy, of how the career works, how a career works in general. She's not an assistant.
that's not the
That's it.
narrative that Rose is peddling. And I don't think that she is one. I can't imagine that they made her one. That would be interesting if she left and then eventually came back. Not gonna lie, the thought has crossed my mind sometimes. Like, would I ever go back to being an executive assistant? I have no idea what salary ranges are, so your girl needs to do her homework. But could there be an interesting angle there and you sharing your lived experience? Like, if Andy's an artist, so maybe
Yeah.
it's giving her some inspiration for writing. I don't know.
Maybe she's being an assistant as part of a piece that she's writing, but still, that's not being a true assistant. That's
This
doing
is
the
true.
job for research. that's like different. I do think sometimes when I'm like in back-to-back meetings, I think, wow, it'd be really nice to not actually have to attend the meetings, to just schedule them again. Because now I have to do both things. And I
Yeah.
have to do the work that you have to do after the meetings.
Yeah.
Before it was I was just doing one portion of the job.
I think about that sometimes too. I think, what if I went back and was an executive assistant? Like, what would it be like nowadays? I have all this knowledge from when I did it initially, and then all this other knowledge from not being an assistant. And could I be good in that role? Because there
I
were a
feel
lot of
like,
things I like doing as an assistant, like all of the
yeah,
culture and
happy hour planning, lunch planning, picking restaurants that I want to eat at. Oh my God, that one time when I had to order catered lunches for 2 weeks straight and I did an around the world theme.
oh, that was
Inspired.
so fun. I That
Oh my
was
God, I
like,
had
we
so
would
much fun
look
with that.
forward to it. Like, we'd be like, Rose, what's it today? And
Oh my God, yeah.
it was
Oh,
those were exciting times.
that was the highlight of my career. I like, okay, so for the people that don't know and that weren't there, I like would pick a different country each day, and some days would be airport days. So you'd have like Hill and Hardy or like not Subway, but we had this like Cafe Metro thing, which was just like a big Subway. So you'd have airport food some days, but then you'd have like we did Italian heroes and I did pasta and I did Thai food. I did banh mi's. Yeah, so I took us to like and I would send out a themed email every day, like, oh my God, bonjour, welcome to Paris. We are having blah 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 for lunch. And yeah, I still think that's some of my best work. Like I
See,
still come
that's what
back to
I
that.
mean. That's
Yeah.
why I like think about that sometimes. Like the little things that make a big difference
Yeah.
actually in people's days. And there's so many memories that I have from being an assistant. Good, like highs and lows, just like anything. Traveling was also fun. We got to travel
Yes.
together a couple times, going to LA, and that was so fun.
Oh
I
my
like
God.
staying in a
Yeah.
hotel and getting to be on set and like see the thing come to life was probably the best part.
Yeah. I think especially because a lot of the stuff that we were shooting at the time wasn't shooting in New York, so going to LA was kind of the only way that we got to see it. But I had a lot of fun. And also it was nice to like it was like a change of scenery. Like we were doing our job just in a different location, and that like changed the perspective so much to be somewhere else doing it and also just experiencing something different for a little bit, like
Yeah.
getting out of your comfort zone. I think right after you left, I went on my first trip alone because we had always done that big shoot every year together, like from the first year I did it. And then I did it alone that last year before I wasn't an assistant anymore. And oh, I like really took my time that time. And it was like so nice. Like we would end our days around 5, and then the rest of the team was in New York, so they were done for the day at that point. And I walked the Hollywood Star of Fame alone at like 8 o'clock at night, which probably isn't recommended, but I was like, I'm from New York. It should be fine. I like drove by the Hollywood sign because I do not hike. But like it was nice to like get a trip alone and like get to see some things that I haven't seen before. Last time I went to LA alone too, I went to the Comedy Store and like saw a show alone.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love exploring on your own. Yeah, I feel like when I was an assistant, I didn't explore as much. Like, I would piggyback slash accept invites if people were doing dinner plans. And sometimes you didn't have your own dinner plans because you were waiting to see what your like manager was doing
Yeah.
and you didn't know if something was needed. So I like the now that we're not in that phase that you can plan your own thing. Like, I went to Seattle and I like took a day off and I explored
Yeah,
and
like it's so nice to be able to just like branch out.
yeah, make the most of your time. Yeah. I feel like I've gotten to travel a good amount for work post assistant. When I was an assistant, definitely got to travel a bit and go to more events that were in New York City, which were fun.
To come
Like
back. I feel
free,
like
yeah, like free concerts or random like small events.
things.
Yeah. I loved all the free shit. I was like, please give me all because I was like single and I was young and I
Yeah.
didn't have as many responsibilities. So it was easy to be like, sure, I can do this and go here. Like,
And you know what? Like even being in a relationship, I'm sure my husband enjoyed having a week to like to have the apartment by himself because like we moved out from living with our parents to living together. So like he's never lived alone. So we've even like talked about it like we've never had that experience and like there's times where he'll work back to back 12-hour shifts. So even though he technically is coming home to sleep, it's just me. I'm like running the house alone, like I got to exist alone. So for him, like for a week too, he got to exist alone, which is
yeah,
like nice.
I think it's always good when we get breaks. Even that break when Andy went to Paris, it gave her some perspective when she came back.
Yeah. And she needed it. I mean, she had perspective in Paris. Just like just her getting out the other side of the car door and just leaving is such a move. To just
Yeah.
like completely be like, I'm actually done and just walk away.
Yeah, sometimes that's the hardest part when you're in it and there's so many perks, and then you're also like, this is the job that's paying my bills. It's so hard to make that change.
It's also hard to like have perspective because I think as an assistant, I don't know how you felt, but there were times where I was really over it. I was like, I don't want to be an assistant anymore. I don't know why I signed up for this. There were so many times where I was like, I never wanted to be an assistant. Why am I here? Like, what am I doing? But ultimately, it helped. It definitely helped my career. And like from hearing what you've said, like you feel like it helped your career too, and it helped shape it at least, and given
Yeah,
you this idea of like what it could look like and what needs to get done to have a successful career. And as much as I hated it in the moment, I wish I had said to myself, like, just sit with it. Just let this be your reality for right now and like not get ahead of yourself and like focus on the positives because there's negatives of almost anything you do. Like,
yeah,
I'm pretty sure most people don't have the most perfect job, even people that are like, do something you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Okay, you like doing taxes? You probably don't like doing your small business taxes. Let's be real. Like, regardless of what you're doing, there are always things that you're like, I don't like doing this. It's how you frame it. Like, I don't like grabbing coffee. I do love a free coffee in the middle of the day, though. So, like, as much as I don't like getting the coffee for everybody, I get a small perk out of it. Like,
yeah,
it's thinking about that kind of situation and also thinking like if I can just tough it out for these 3 years, I will have so much more. Like this will give me information that I need and that I might not have gotten otherwise. Like being an assistant to an executive producer, I got to watch him do all of that.
yeah,
So it was like on
yeah.
the job learning.
I remember the days where we would have to talk each other, or different days, off the ledge.
Yes.
I
We
think
would take
that
turns.
we would take turns, and all of it stemmed from just being very ambitious, and that not being our goal coming out of
Yes.
college wasn't to take a role in that, but like life happens and opportunities present themselves, and you can take them
Mm-hmm.
or leave them. And we both were people and are still are people that when the right
Take them.
opportunity, yeah,
Yes.
is presented, you take it. And agree with you. I learned so much. I feel like I learned the inner workings of how to like care for a large team in this
Mm-hmm.
environment too, which is so important in both of our jobs now. Like as a program director, my like part of my job is to make sure like the team is being encouraged to like have work-life balances and take care of themselves and try to like find little ways to bring culture alive. I feel like I got to practice that as an assistant. So now
Yeah.
I already kind of like know ways to do that. And I'm not afraid to just like suggest things because I feel like I got
Mm-hmm.
to be like freely suggest things when I was younger. And that's like when it was the scariest sometimes because you were like first time doing it, I had no idea what you were doing.
Yeah, and I feel like we were able to bounce off a lot of ideas, and we obviously didn't make the final saves. I didn't at least a lot of the time, but something that like my executive was really good at was explaining why not. Like
Yeah.
that sounds fun, but we don't have money to do that. Like that costs extra, or like realistically in the grander scope of things, we can't pull that off. You'd be like, okay, whatever. I did really want to go team bowling, but I guess we're not. No team
Yeah.
bowling for us.
Learning how to budget and plan offsites and holiday parties, definitely skills that I'm glad I have for my personal life too. I feel like
Yeah.
there's a lot of skills I learned as an assistant that help me in my day to day, help me in my personal life, have bonded me with people because they were so like critical to the team.
That's like what Andy in the movie is missing. There's
Yeah.
like Emily Blunt's character, I can never remember her name. It was like so catty towards her. And like when we worked together and we weren't assistants to the same person, but like we were never competing against each other. And maybe because like our plans and our career goals were always slightly different, like close enough but different,
Yeah.
that like we weren't competing for the same position. Like we both wanted more, but it was never going to be the same role that we would move up to. So like that definitely helped, but Emily Blunt's character is competing for the same role. And also there's no larger team. Like Stanley Tucci is the larger team, I guess.
Yeah.
But Miranda is so feared that probably the rest of the team doesn't want to get to know Andy because of that. And
Yeah.
we at least had like larger teams and we had each other and we had like community to help get us through it because like we could be like, oh my God, I can't believe this is my day. And there'd be half a dozen people that would be right there with us and be like, we also can't believe this is what's going on today. Like this project is a nightmare. And nobody was really there for Andy like that. I mean, Emily Blunt's
Yeah.
character in like the very end after she helped her. But other than that, it was like very catty and very isolating.
Yeah, it was like that. And Emily Blunt's character, her name is Emily, funny enough, in the
Oh,
movie. I
that's
just
why
looked
I
it
can't
up.
remember it. They were
But
like,
yeah, no, they
you know what, that works. Just keep your real name.
they keep it simple. They definitely did not have that like friendship or camaraderie. So that makes it harder if you don't have that in your assistant life. And it's helpful to have friends. I guess that would be advice I would give to anyone that's an assistant now. If you don't have an assistant friend, try to find one. You'd be surprised how much you can bond with someone.
Also, just like someone you can bounce ideas off of. Because, like, yes, you should like check with your executive on some things, but like sometimes you're like, am I being crazy? Or is this food menu like make sense? Or do I
Yeah,
not need two types of chicken? Like,
for real. I used to love getting coffee in the morning and breakfast because sometimes my executive would pay for it if I would offer to go stop by and get it. And at that point, I was early in my career, so I could use a free coffee and a sandwich. And I was
yeah,
not I was not gonna say
I am
no to that offer.
hungry.
Yeah. I'm like,
I used
I
to
will go
like
out of my
getting
way.
lunch. Lunch I liked a little bit more because like I would always come in an hour early just for my own anxiety. It would like help me like check all of the emails from the night before and like get a jump start. But once the day got going, it felt so hard to leave for lunch that if I was like, oh, well, if he needs lunch, it's like I'm doing my job if I go get lunch. It was like almost tricking myself. Like, okay, well,
Yeah,
what does he want for lunch? But I was very particular. I was like, I will go to the place I'm going for lunch and you can have some of that. Or you could present me with a better idea and we can go there. Or I'm just not getting your lunch. If you want the third option is you figure it out.
that is so much. She was a little, Rose was very like, this is how it's gonna be, and pick
Yeah.
an option.
I feel
I
like he went
feel
with
like
it.
he did go with it. He was pretty
Yeah.
easygoing. I feel like my executive was pretty easygoing too. Like we had a similar food interest, so that
hmm
was really easy. If I was gonna get something, then I'd be like, "Do you want this?" And he'd be like, "Sure," and I'd be like, "Great, love it, so
Oh, you know what
easy."
was really detrimental to my life though was he went through a sushi phase, and I literally cannot say no to sushi. My pregnancy this time, that's all I craved, which was so unfair because you can't like really eat it. So he'd be like, "Oh, I want sushi a second day in a row," and I'm like, oh, I can't really afford it, but I want sushi a second day in a row too. Like, oh my God. And I'd have to say no because I knew I couldn't get him sushi and not get myself sushi because it's like my deep
That's
down love.
funny. You do love sushi. I love sushi too. Sushi can be expensive.
Oh my God, I took my mom to dinner at that sushi restaurant for her birthday, and I ordered. She was like, "You order." I went buck wild, and I got the bill, and I was like, "I love you so much, Mom." But I almost texted my dad. I was like, "Hey, do you want to cover half of this? I know I'm asking you post food and you didn't get any, but do you want to cover half of this? I bit off more than I could chew."
That is on a struggle bus. What did you end up doing?
Oh, I just paid for it all. I was like, I'm not gonna ask somebody else for money because like I
Yeah.
made this decision. I'm a grown adult. I decided to come here. I suggested this. I did the ordering. So what could I really do?
Yeah.
But I love her.
Good
I
on
didn't feel
you,
bad about it.
though. Yeah, that's nice of you. Things you wouldn't do as an assistant,
Oh no, I would not cover his sushi. It probably also wouldn't have been that expensive, but
unless
yeah.
you were bawling. I mean, there are different levels of assistants. We were assistants in our early careers. There's like lifer assistants.
Hmm.
So I can only imagine that they have war stories that they can share.
I don't know. Like I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this for the next 30 years.
Yeah. I think I didn't know enough about like what it all entailed. Like I did, but I didn't know what I wanted to do fully. And so I felt like if I was
Yeah,
choosing that path, I was like kind of boxing
choosing
myself
that.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wasn't ready to say, okay, yes. Like now that I've had different experience, I'm like, maybe I could do that for the last 15 years of my career. But again, indecisiveness.
Yeah.
It's a large role when you choose that job and you're really there to support the executive.
And it
And
really depends on the executive. Like, I could not. I've seen executives that you have to chase down, you have to follow around to make sure they're answering their emails, and like you have to really be on top of them. And I don't think I could do that. Like, after having two small children, I've realized in my executive assistant background does in fact help
yeah.
negotiating with these tiny people and understanding that sometimes your schedule isn't the schedule you have to follow. Sometimes you have to follow somebody else's schedule. Um, but after having to negotiate hard with this child, I don't know if I could do another person. I don't know if I could do this but a grown adult. Have to like
Yeah.
play this game of being like even like lunch, being like, I will get you what I am getting or make me a better offer. Like I don't know if I could do that now that I've had to do it with a child. Like today, I'm like, eat dinner. And he's like, no. And I'm like, eat a yogurt. Okay. And I'm like, I could live with that. That counts as dinner. That's a protein for sure, I think. I don't
It
really
does.
know.
Yogurt has protein in it for sure. And I hear you and I feel the same. Don't have two small little children that I negotiate with, but I do think to myself, that's another person to manage. And where I
Yeah.
am in the phase of my life, I don't know if I can take on that big of a role because having done it before, I see how important it is and
Hmm.
how time consuming it might be. It really depends on the person. Maybe the perfect person will come along one day and can meet all of the criteria that I need. But that's usually not what being an assistant is like.
Nope.
So,
You have to take them how you get them. Sometimes you can train your executive to like follow your system, but you can't like make people change who they are,
yeah, and you can't control people as much as you would like
unfortunately. Yeah.
to.
I'm over here like, damn, can't control them, can't live with them, can't control them.
Right. Just gotta roll with the punches. This has been fun reminiscing on assistant life. And I know there's some nuggets of wisdom shared in here. I think
100%.
your reflection on being present is so important because I remember us having conversations about that. And it's so easy to be like forward thinking and always like
Hmm.
sometimes that's to our detriment. And I think it's
Yeah,
a good reminder for us all to really enjoy the present time and find joy in it. Because, and if you don't take time for joy, you're just having a miserable experience along the way.
exactly. I totally agree with that's what I'm thinking. Oh, in my like end of year review last year, I was asked what my 5-year plan was, and I said, "I don't know, but I hope to retire in 30 years." And my manager was like, "I'm sorry, what?" I'm like, "Honestly, I'm just thinking long-term goals now, because 'cause I'm trying to just, like, be here and enjoy what's here, but also know that that is the end goal." And while being an assistant, the end goal at that point was just to start my career. I was like, this feels like a little prologue. This feels like the forward to my book, and I need to be in the book. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, now I'm just like, I'm in the book. I'm just at some point I'll get to the end of the story.
A forward to the book.
That was the start of it because it's like a little bit of an aside. It's not like fully
That's so interesting that
the
you look at
start.
it that way. Because I feel like it's the beginning of my book. The more I work in corporate America and get to, grow as a person and in my career, I realize how much there's things that I like doing that I've done throughout my career, like
Mhm.
culture stuff. And that I've done that at every job that I've been at. And it started when I was an assistant. So part of me feels like it's the beginning, but I like that it's your forward.
I think it's my forward. It's like, when you go on somebody's Wikipedia and it says like early life and then it says career. I think
Yes.
being an assistant would be in my early life. It wouldn't be part of my career.
I think my early life would be my internships. Assistant would be the beginning of my career.
I didn't really intern. I like had one internship before NBC, which also I don't
Yeah.
really count as an internship because I didn't do anything. I like kind of got there and they were like, "Oh, we accidentally signed up for 5 interns this year and we don't know what to do with you. We have too many of you." And I kind of just
Oh.
like sat there and was like, getting credit, gonna put this on my resume. I'm learning not a single thing. Like I learned very minimal things.
I interned my junior and my senior years. I had like 4 or 5 internships because I interned in the semesters and then I interned the summer between my junior year and my senior year.
Nope.
And
I for
each
some reason
experience was very different.
I for some reason didn't intern. I think I like applied like I definitely got one my last semester of my senior year. Oh, I had like a part-time job, so I was doing that. I don't know why I didn't intern.
Well, if you had
I
a
did
part-time
independent
job,
studies. I don't
if
know.
you had a part-time job, then that makes sense because my part-time jobs were kind of like internships. Instead of working, I was interning.
Yeah,
And then during one summer, I interned and I worked because the internship was unpaid. So
I
that
love
was
that.
fun. But most of my internships actually, I think, were unpaid or they were like for credit. But I feel like those were all different experiences and like different industries. So that kind of feels like a forward.
I want to write a book. I
You
want to
should do
write the
it.
book.
See, you got to come to Shine Away next year because there's also a thing there because Reese has her book club.
Mhm.
So there's like a bookshop and there was author readings. So I got to go to one of the author readings, like Tembi Locke, that she wrote from scratch. And there's a Netflix show on it too. It was Always Saldana's in it. And it's like set in Italy. It's beautiful. It's just so
I've
beautiful.
seen I've not watched it, but I've seen what you're talking about.
She's the author and she just came out with her second book and it's an audiobook only. And I'm obsessed with that. And I kind of think like that might be my memoir and is audiobook only. So we'll have to chat more about that. But you should write a book. We should talk more about writing books.
It's been on my list for like I've decided like now that like my career is settled, like I will accomplish everything and anything
I
I
love
want.
that.
Yeah. The world is my oyster. I have always believed I in some way will be famous or well known, and I'm just figuring out what it's for.
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like I'm meant to have this impactful legacy that I live
Mhm.
behind. But I've also decided like I might be like Frida Kahlo and some of the people that had this amazing life, but people didn't realize it until after. Like that's like,
I'm fine with that too.
you know.
Maybe the Sagittarius in me wants to be acknowledged now.
Oh, I would love some acknowledgement now too. Like We'll see what happens, but I feel good things. Okay, as we're wrapping up, tell us one thing you're grateful for this week. This is a new addition to Precisely Nowhere where we're practicing more gratitude.
Heading back to work, I'm very grateful that I got a maternity leave where I had a 4-year-old and I got to spend so much time with him. And I'm just grateful for the past 6 months. And yeah,
I
and a
think,
grateful reminder that I couldn't be a stay-at-home mom because I was a little bit like, I want this.
yeah,
But heading back into work, I'm grateful also for the reminder that, like, I love my job and I'm excited to do my job.
I love this. And thank you for sharing your gratitude.
Of course. I try to be
Hopefully,
grateful every day.
I do too. And my therapist recently gave me some advice on practicing gratitude. He said, try to be as specific as possible
Mhm.
because when you're really specific, like you really feel it. Like it's easy to say, I'm grateful for my house or my car, but those are a lot of things that like we all have. So I love that when you shared gratitude right now, you got really specific. And I feel like you could really feel it.
I feel like I didn't practice gratitude early on in my career, and that made it hard to appreciate where I was at the moment. And I was so focused on what was coming, I wasn't thinking about what I was grateful for at the time. So that would really help if I knew that then.
Yeah. I'm sure it would help Andy too in her Devil Wears Prada era.
And can be grateful that Nate left her.
Right? She got
She's a
access to that Harry Potter book.
Oh my god, the dream.
I know.
Honestly,
Well,
Andy was out there working miracles. I don't know if I had to work any miracles just like that.
she was working some miracles. I was like, girl, how you not tired? Okay,
Yeah.
what is one thing that you're loving right now?
I've been walking my oldest to school every morning, so I'm appreciative for a reason to get out and take a walk and being able to walk. Like, it's not a far walk. Um, but yeah, I appreciate that. And my nice stroller that pushes so well because, yeah, I took it out of the box and I didn't fill up the air in the tires, and then my husband was like, "Hey, these are flat." And I was like, "Oh, damn, this has been kinda hard to push." So now they're not flat anymore, so I'm grateful for the air pump that we have that finally put air in these tires.
Grateful for your husband who caught that.
Grateful for him and for also filling up the tires, not just being like, "Hey, those are flat," and leaving me hanging. He was like, "These are
Yeah,
flat, let me fix this for you."
he went into husband and dad mode. I love it.
Well, I think the strollers are just an extension of the car, and the cars are for him to deal with. So, it was technically his job.
That's fair. I could see the rationale here.
Thank you, thank you.
Well, this has been so fun. I always love jumping on the mic with you, and I'm glad that we got inspired to do more episodes coming out of this.
I love it.
Mm,
You know I love to talk about myself and about things.
and I love that for me and for us. So, where can the listeners find you?
You guys can find me on my TikTok. I am forever posting. I've been, like, dumping content there. It's lots of, craft stuff. I've become a little manic in my crafting. I'm bouncing from crochet, working on a cross stitch project. I've done some embroidered felt ornaments recently. The crafting has no bounds right now, but it's at Astra_Rose19 on TikTok.
Love you all. Thank you for listening. Talk soon. Music done by Marco. You can find him at midnight, MIDNITE_mind80 on Instagram for more of his work.